Good afternoon to all of you, dear students. Welcome to this session. My name is Raj Sankar at SRIRAM's platform. I'm the faculty of sociology at SRIRAM's IS, and today we are going to discuss on the kinship system. Today our discussion would be on the changing pattern of kinship relationship in the contemporary world. So our discussion is how the kinship system is under transformation. Today, how the pattern of kinship relations are gradually under the process of transformation or change. This is the aspect of our discussion. और हम कह सकते हैं हिंदी में कि आज क्या हमारे रिश्ते बदल रहे हैं, क्या हमारी रिश्तेदारी की दुनिया छोटी हो रही है, क्या हमारे रिश्तेदार बदल रहे हैं, रिश्तेदारी व्यवस्था में बहुत परिवर्तन आ रहा है. इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में टुडे वी हैव टू डिस्कस अबाउट. So let us go for the discussion is like PYQs is there, and this QIQ is like discuss changing the changing nature of kinship. Discuss changing nature of kinship relationship in contemporary world, right? This is the question of 2023. So this is the question is discuss the changing nature of kinship relationship in the contemporary world. So our question is on basically the kinship relation, right? Kinship system. So first let us in introduction part first briefly discuss about the what is kinship system. Thereafter we shall discuss about that how kinship system is under transformation and what are the emerging pattern of kinship system in the contemporary world. Okay, fine. So this is our discussion. Let us go for discussion one by one. As I told you in many videos that if you are going to write answer of any question or PYQ, and traditionally it is divided into three parts. I told you that the answer is divided into three parts. One that we say intro, second we say body, structure, and third we can say that this is the conclusion, right? Every answer traditionally has three parts. Intro, I told you just the keyword is there. Keyword is to be defined hardly in 30 to 40 words. So let us go for discussion. It is the idea of kinship system. So at this level, what is required here to discuss, suppose we write the answer, then we write the answer. First we can define kinship system. No? So introduction part is there. When we are going to write the answer, intro part, what we are supposed to mention. In the intro part we can mention that kinship is the principle of organization, right? In every society there are different bases of organization of people. So kinship is the principle of organization. Idea given by Radcliffe-Brown, right? Radcliffe-Brown. So kinship system is defined. So kinship system is defined. So kinship system is defined in terms of socially recognized relationship. Kinship system is defined in terms of socially recognized relationship among individuals who are connected either through blood, marriage, or adoption, or all, right? This is the introduction part will be there. Na? What we have mentioned, two parts we can mention. First, the kinship is the principle of organization, Radcliffe-Brown. So, kinship system is defined in terms of socially recognized relationship among who? Among individuals who are connected to each other either through blood, either through marriage, and either through the adoption or through the all. This is the definition of the kinship system. Now, second part we have to go, then we have to go to the body structure, right? We have to go to discuss about what content we have to mention in the body structure. So in the body structure, when we are going to discuss about, in the body structure, basically we have to mention, in the body structure we have to mention first, so traditionally, kinship structure was based on traditionally kinship structure was based on broad framework of relationship, right? Broad framework of relationship. But today there are greater flexibility and today there are greater flexibility and individualized relationship. Today there is a greater flexibility and individualized relationship among people or among kinship relations, right? So first I define kinship system. Second, what we have to do in the body structure, we can start from this like this. So traditionally kinship system was based on the broad framework of relationship, but today there are greater flexibility and individualized relationship among the kinship relations. Therefore there is a changing relationship. There is changing kinship. Therefore there is a we can say therefore there is a following changes in kinship relationship. And then some points we have to mention. So first we mention about introduction part, we define kinship system. Then in the body structure, just we have a touch on that traditional kinship system. Therefore, how flexibility and how individualized kinship system is emerging, and therefore the emerging pattern of kinship system or the changing pattern of kinship relation across the world. Today we find these patterns are as follows. First we can say the points, then we can mention here. The points will mention one by one. First point we can mention in this regard, the first point will mention that there is a rise of chosen family. So the rise of chosen family का मतलब हुआ कि earlier family was based either on blood or marriage. So there was compulsion on the part of people. So it was a structured relation. Today in the global world, we are also developing the family of our own choice. So the rise of chosen family, when we talk about today, this rise of chosen family means now people migrating to the cities and various areas, and therefore they are far away from their family members, and therefore not possible to have the relation with the blood defined, a marriage defined, the kinship relation. So we develop a new kinship relation that is considered the chosen family. In this chosen family, generally this comprises of non-biological members. राइट. दिस नॉन बायोलॉजिकल मेंबर्स मीन्स व्हेन वी चूज, अपने सर्कल का लोगों को हम चुनते हैं, उसको हम परिवार मान लेते हैं. जहाँ आसपास रहते हैं उसको हम परिवार मान लेते हैं. सो वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड एज फैमिली. वन सच एग्जाम्पल में बी लाइक समटाइम्स when we talk about people of LGBT community, LGBTQ plus, they can also be there. When people have live-in relation, they can also be there. Na? This is the happening. First one. Second, considered now there is a rise of virtual kinship. Rise of virtual or sometimes this is considered fictive kins. Fictive kins का मतलब हुआ rising fictive kins that is not based on blood, not based on marriage. इसको कहते हैं मुंह बोले भाई बहन, मुंह बोले चाचा, मुंह बोले अंकल. That is in the मुंह बोले दादाजी. In the cities they develop this relation. This is considered fictive kinship. So fictive kinship is not the original kinship, is not the kinship based upon the blood or marriage, but this kinship system based upon the personal choice, or where we, though we are not connected by this blood or marriage relation, but we regard one another as family member, and therefore we have respectful term and some kind of voluntary obligation towards one another in terms of helping. जैसे मैं जहाँ रहता हूँ तो नीचे ऊपर कोई भैया है, कोई भाभी है, ऐसे भैया नमस्ते, भाभी नमस्ते, अंकल नमस्ते. It seems that it is a family, but actually it's not my family. It's the fictive relation we have developed because we are living outside, so out of compulsion, because all members have to live together, so we have developed a kind of network of relationship for the healthy social life and social relationship over there, right? Second. Third, we can say that there is a evolving gender relation, that evolving gender relation. You know, in earlier kinship system, gender relation was structured within the framework of patriarchy. Today there is evolving gender relation because both wife and husband are working, at least in the cities. So what is happening over here? Because both are working, so we can say now there is a greater equality, greater gender equality, right? So we find today that we have the greater gender equality in the relationship. Wife or woman equally asserting her rights in the family relation or gender relation. So this is happening. So equal gender relation. Now, earlier kinship system was based upon the larger kinship sites. Today there is a rise of nuclear family. Rise of nuclear family. So we have the smaller kinship system, a smaller kinship size. Today the size of kinship is smaller. In fact, what is happening, the in-laws side, wife side's relatives are becoming more important today in the life of wife and children compared to husband side. So this is the shifting. Next, consider fifth one. What is we find now within the kinship relation, there is a changing pattern of marriage. There is a changing pattern of marriage. Actually, earlier marriage was finalized by the elder members of the family, and they could decide everything. So this pattern is gradually on change. Today there is a changing pattern of marriage. Now today we find love marriage. No? We find the love marriage. We find the personal choice in the marriage. We find the live-in relationship. We find the homosexual marriage. At least not in India, across other countries, homosexual marriage. So, आजकल एक नया word है solo marriage. Solo marriage. So we find different patterns of marriage, mainly love marriage. So the flexibility in mate selection, earlier it was totally decided by the family member and it operated within the framework of the patriarchy. And today, because people working in the corporate world, they are in cities, so sometimes they have their own choice. They fall in love, they intimate their parents that they are in love with someone, so their marriage, they want to be married with the people. Then love come arranged marriage, most dominant pattern of India, those working in the corporate world. Apart from that, live-in relationship is growing, premarital affair is growing, and this is happening. Next, consider apart from the marriage, the influence of technology. Sixth one, we can say the last one, but not least, the influence of technology in new pattern. This influence of technology, two things I can say here. One, you may be knowing IVF, in vitro fertilization, and second, you know, surrogacy. Surrogacy. A new pattern of reproduction is coming. A new pattern of acquiring babies is coming. And therefore, this also affects our kinship relationship in the society. And last but not least, that we can say, there is a sixth one. Seventh one, we can say now, there is a, within the kinship bond, there is a changing pattern of relationship between parents, right? Changing pattern of relationship between parents and between the children. Now this relation within the kinship bond, the relationship between parents and children are becoming more intimate, more friendly, more democratic, more liberal. Earlier it was more patriarchal, more authoritarian, but authority has gradually on decline. So we can say by this way that how there is a change in the kinship system. Apart from this discussion, one last we can say, so it is clear from the above that today there is a changing pattern of kinship relationship. Not only size of kinship has declined, not only the pattern of kinship system is on change, but we also find gradually there is a changes in the structure of the kinship system, function of the kinship system, size of the kinship system, the way interpersonal relation they interacts. So the size of the family, marriage, the rule of inheritance. Earlier women had no right of inheritance. Today the women have the right of inheritance, at least in India. Now children becoming more and more independent within the kinship system. And earlier within the kinship bond, because kinship system was very large, so liability was very wide. Today kinship system is a smaller one, so liability is becoming very, very small one. And therefore we can say that of course the kinship system are under great transformation today under the impact of different forces of modernity like industrialization, urbanization, westernization, modern education, legal system, migration, changes in the legal system and property relations. And therefore our kinship system is at a crossroad in terms of changes in structure and function. That's all about it. So I think this discussion would be of little important, or in fact this discussion would be very nice for you, because I have tried my best to mention about how there is a changing pattern of kinship relation. This is very important for examination point of view. 1 year there is already question. Even when there is question in the future, you can mention. When you will study the marriage family kinship system, paper 1, paper 2, then you will study the changing pattern of kinship system over there. This small discussion will be helpful to all of you. It will give you a new insight to make inquiry about the transformative dimension of the kinship system. Then it will help you. So enough for today's small discussion. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.